morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anthony Scholars, and welcome to my show, No Women in Heaven. And also, you can buy or purchase the lovely book, No Women in Heaven, on our website, nowomeninheaven.com. On this website, you'll also find our bumper. Oh, I still have the bumper stickers. How can I mention it? And I haven't added them. Crazy. Okay, we have the hats, the t-shirts, and also the coffee mug. Okay, let's get into this show today. Our show is going to be Unnatured Children Enjoy Suffrage. You're thinking, unnatured children enjoy suffrage? Yes, these are the rich kids. These are the rich kids. Okay, now, you say, well, what brought this about? Are you going to receive your food stamps in November? Yes, and let me explain why. Most of our farmers in this area where I live, which is a predominantly agriculture area, vote Republican. Okay, you understand that connection? The farmer receives his check from the Department of Agriculture. Food stamps receive their check from the Department of Agriculture. And I got a good lesson on this when I used to be an ice cream man years ago. I would drive to a small town called Hanford, California. And on the way to Hanford, California, on the 1st and the 15th, when the mailman would leave the farmer's mailbox, here comes the wife making that trek to the mailbox. When we get into the apartments, what do we run into? The same thing. Women, once the mailman leaves, the moms come out of the apartment complex and go to the mailbox to get their food stamps or their welfare check. The same money that food stamps comes from is the same money that the farmers get. November is one of the busiest months for selling food. Stores have already made their purchases several months ago for this month. It is not likely they're going to let Walmart sit on $1 billion worth of food and let it spoil. There's no way. So what's going to happen? It's the rich having their enjoyment of your suffrage. When do the rich always make you suffer? When it's winter time. They always threaten you with the chance of freezing to death or starving to death. Look in the movies that we would see in Europe. What is it? It's winter time. They've got the gloves on, where the fingers are sort of cut out, and they're freezing. And you look in the windows and you see the rich having the fireplace and the food on the table. They always want to bring what? Starvation or freezing you to death. This is why the unnatured child has an enjoyment of your suffrage. Okay, let's give you a definition of an unnatured child. What is that, Anthony? Okay, let me explain that to you. I had a woman here in the valley. I went to work on her alarm because I used to work for ADT and work on alarms. And she used to be a school teacher, Armenian woman. And she explained to me, Anthony, let me explain to you the difference between an unnatured child and a natured child. An unnatured child, a child who has not been properly nurtured, lacking care, affection, or moral guidance during development. The unnatured child grew up without knowing trust or tenderness. A child disconnected from natural behavior or the environment. Often shaped by artificial, neglectful, or distorted influences. Okay, the rich kid, he's not down here with regular society. He has everything. I've gone to a home years ago, and this was a wealthy family. When I went into the child's room, he had toys that were open and toys that were still in boxes that he never opened. He had so much material wealth. He had clothes he had never even worn before. So they don't need material because they have enough cars, enough homes, enough clothes, enough jewelry. Their enjoyment comes from your suffrage. There they go, always begging for something. And that's how politicians see you. You're always begging. At their level, businesses knock on their door and say, hey buddy, did you get that plane ticket to Hawaii? Hey buddy, did you get that $100,000 gift we gave your wife? See, their friends always say, hey, did you get something that I sent you or I gave you? But you go to them always begging. Let's continue. Suffrage. What is that? It's a slang term that refers to the act of causing or experiencing intense suffering. It can be used in various contexts such as physical pain, emotional distress, or mental anguish. So, the nurtured child, and this is what the woman explained to me. She says, Anthony, the nurtured child usually comes from a poor family. He doesn't have babysitters. And if he does, it's someone who he knows. So this person loves him and shows him affection. It can be a grandparent. It can be someone who doesn't have a job. But when he gets out of school, he's going home to someone who loves him. The rich kid, he's put in a nursery. Come on, mom and dad are out making money. He's put in a nursery. And many times, some of you mothers are putting infants into nurseries so you can go back to work. I understand you have to. But then again, you're raising an unnatured child. He has all the material possessions that one can offer him, but he does not have love. And what happens is, the woman explained to me, when he becomes an adult, he has no problem throwing your people in the street. And I said, why? Because he's never had anyone tell him, I love you. No affection at all. So he's ruthless. This is why this time of the year, it's always around Thanksgiving and Christmas, even going into January, that the wealthy call suffrage. Come on. If they're not freezing you to death, they're not starving you to death. Remember COVID? When did they start sticking needles in us? Around January, February? To call suffrage. They love you to suffer. They love to watch you suffer. Okay. Let's look at an example of someone who loves to call suffrage on people. When someone says, I want to teach you about the principles of King Solomon, you hear that all the time. And they're always throwing this money at you. We're going to teach you about the Bible, but we're going to teach you about Solomon so you can prosper, so you can become rich. How many years have you been reading the story on Solomon and you still got the same bank account? It hadn't blown up. They sell you Solomon to give you the impression your father, Yahuwah, who you call God, which is a title, is a sugar daddy. So when you straighten up, sugar daddy is going to start blessing you. That's why you hear the preacher say, I got an $80 million jet because the Lord blessed me. No. You didn't get an $80 million jet because he blessed you. You got an $80 million jet because you pulled one of these things like Solomon. Okay. When someone says, I want to tell you about the principles of Solomon, tell them, I want to learn about the first super freak. You think Rick James was the first super freak? No, Solomon was. He was the first super freak. Tell them, I want to learn how he slept with everything from people to animals. Oh, we want to teach you about the principles of Solomon. You do? Well, teach me about super freak. Teach me about how he slept with people and animals. Teach me how he worshiped other strange gods. Teach me about that. How he oppressed the people. He made their yokes heavy around their necks. and chastise the people with whips. Teach me about the suffrage King Solomon brought upon the people for his godly, blessed riches. Oh, we want to tell you about Solomon, who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Your daddy was a king. King Charles and Andrew and all them over there in Europe. Your mama was Queen Elizabeth. You were born with silver spoon. You was born with a gold spoon. Let's call it platinum spoon in today's terms. And now you are to be king. And in the night vision, Yahuwah, who you call God, comes to you and says, you know, what do you want from me? And you're with your kind heart. Well, I need you to teach me how to govern the people. Well, it would have been a sin for you to ask for more money, considering you're sitting on several billions, right? King David left Solomon billions. So much gold, they were pouring gold over wood. We're called overlaid in gold. Overlaid in gold? Who the hell's got enough gold they can just go pour it around? Let's continue. Let's look at this. And you say, Anthony, I think that's a little harsh with your land on Solomon. Show me some proof. Let me show you some proof. And the ministers in the church, they always give you the Solomon story, but they don't give you the entire story. What about when he died? What did the people say about him? And that's how you'll know if you did good in society. What do they say about you when you're gone? What do they say about Martin Luther King when he's gone? They speak highly of him. What about John F. Kennedy? They speak highly of him. Bobby Kennedy, his brother, they speak highly of him. How do they speak of Hitler? They trash his name, okay? That's how it determines how you treated the people. King Rehoboam, I don't even know how to pronounce that. It is Rehoboam, was the son of King Solomon and the grandson of King David. Okay, so this is the one who's taken over. He had a chance to accept the advice of the elders, but he listened to the advice of his friends. Kings 1, 12, 13. And the king answered the people roughly and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him. So the old men came and says, look, your dad is gone. The people would like some relief. Can you be a just individual and be kind to the people and not whip them and oppress them like your daddy did? See, the ministers never talk about how Solomon oppressed the people and whipped the people. But you always hear about the riches of Solomon. Well, how did you get the riches? By oppressing people. Kings 1, 12, 14. My father made your yoke heavy. This is the son speaking. And I will add to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So the son acknowledges how Solomon treated the people. You made the yokes heavy on their neck. Okay, in the United States, you say, what's the difference? They sent the jobs overseas so you could buy cheap, is what they said. Now you don't have any work, your children don't have any work, your grandchildren don't have any work, your great-grandchildren don't have any work. But you keep continuing to vote for the same people who do what? Oppress you. Cause suffrage upon you. If you don't have work in the land, what are you going to do? You're going to suffer. Kings 1, 12, 16. When all Yasreel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? And the people went home. Who controls your life? You. So Yasreel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. They said, we ain't going to listen to that mess. You just a grandson. We ain't going to listen to that. And they went home. The people did not riot. They didn't hold a revolution. They just turned their TVs off. And that is the worst thing that the politicians want you to do, is to turn your TVs off or your phone. They need to keep feeding you with this, "Ooh, we're going to freeze to death. Ooh, we're going to starve to death." No, you're not. Why? Banks need their money, and their money is coming from the Department of Agriculture. The farmers receive the money, and they send it to the banks. If the banks don't get their money in November, meaning they didn't sign a aid bill for the farmers to get their money, the people to get their food stamps, you will watch a total collapse in America. And no way are they going to cause a collapse in winter. Ain't happening, baby. Ain't no way Walmart is sitting on them billions of dollars of food. They're going to let food prices drop so they lose money. It ain't happening. So all that, "Whoa, we ain't getting our food stamps." No. That's just a suffrage they'll cause you. Okay, let's continue. And let me show you how things work. This is Jasher 12:6. We're in Sodom and Gomorrah. Not Sodom and Gomorrah. We're in Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's get intelligent, individuals. Or folks, let's become intelligent now. Let's read a little more than the King James. Jasher 12:6. "And if it pleases the king to do this, let him order his servants to kindle a fire both night and day in your brick furnace. And then we will cast this man into it." And the king did so, and he commanded his servants that they should prepare a fire for 3 days and 3 nights in the king's furnace. The king ordered them to take Abraham, from prison and bring him out to be burned by fire. This is why they removed Jasher from the King James Bible. Because when you get to Daniel, we learn about this fire that's been burning for 3 days, and they're going to put Daniel in there, and then when they look, they see Daniel with Jesus. Well, when they stuck Abram in this fire, and they stuck his brother Haran burned up. They opened up that fire, and they only saw Abram. And no Jesus in there, it was only Abram. Interesting, huh? Let's continue. Okay. Jasher 12:8. "And all the women and the little ones crowded upon the roofs and towers to see what was doing with Abram. And they all stood together at a distance, and there was not a man left that did not come on that day to behold the scene." Anthony, what are you saying? When they went to burn Abram, who you call Abraham, he's still